Right now, two nations, Israel and Iran, are standing at the edge of a conflict that could shake the world. Airstrikes, missile attacks, cyber warfare, and the threat of a global economic collapse. These are not headlines from a movie. They're happening in real time. But how did we get here? Why are these two nations locked in a decades-long rivalry? What exactly is happening today, and most importantly, what comes next? This isn't just about two countries. This is about how this conflict could impact the world, your life, your fuel prices, your economy, even global peace. Stick with me as we break it all down, the history, the present, and the future, in simple, easy-to-understand terms. Surprisingly, before 1979, Iran and Israel were actually allies. Iran, under the rule of the Shah, had diplomatic ties, shared military technology, and even sold oil to Israel. Both nations cooperated secretly due to mutual concerns about Arab nationalist movements. Everything changed in 1979 when Iran went through the Islamic Revolution. The Shah was overthrown. The new government, led by Ayatollah Khomeini, was fundamentally anti-Western and anti-Israel. Iran shifted to a theocratic government based on Shia Islamic principles, and hostility toward Israel became a core policy. Iran opposes Israel's existence, viewing it as an occupying force in Palestine and Jerusalem, which holds deep religious significance in Islam. Meanwhile, Israel views Iran's policies as existential threats, especially given Iran's calls to eliminate the so-called Zionist regime. Instead of direct wars, Iran developed a powerful proxy network. Hezbollah in Lebanon possesses over 150,000 rockets aimed at Israel. Hamas in Gaza frequently engages in conflict with Israel. Iran also supports Shia militias in Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, expanding its influence across the Middle East. From the early 2000s, Israel began conducting hundreds of airstrikes targeting Iranian weapons convoys and missile factories in Syria and Lebanon. Iran sent drones, missile technology, and funds to its proxies. Israel carried out covert assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists, including Mohsen Fakhrizadeh in 2020. In 2010, the United States and Israel launched the Stuxnet virus, which crippled Iran's nuclear centrifuges. Iran responded with cyber attacks on Israeli water systems, banks, hospitals, and power grids. The cyber battlefield continues silently but constantly. The nuclear arms race has been a central issue for years. In 2015, Iran signed the Iran nuclear deal, officially known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, agreeing to limit its nuclear program. But in 2018, under President Donald Trump, the United States withdrew from the deal, leading Iran to resume uranium enrichment. Between 2019 and 2024, Iran began enriching uranium to 60%, dangerously close to weapons-grade levels, which is 90%. In 2024, Israeli intelligence warned that Iran had accumulated enough fissile material to potentially build 2 nuclear bombs within months. Then came the 2025 trigger event. In March, satellite imagery revealed Iran constructing advanced missile factories near Damascus in Syria and Isfahan in Iran. Israel saw this as an existential threat. In April, Israel launched Operation Red Strike. A series of airstrikes targeted Iranian nuclear facilities, missile factories, and military airbases deep inside Iran. Simultaneously, Israel attacked Iranian supply routes in Syria and Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. Iran retaliated with waves of ballistic missiles targeting Israeli cities like Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Dimona, which is home to Israel's secret nuclear facility. Israel's Iron Dome, David's Sling, and the new Iron Beam laser system intercepted most, but some missiles caused significant damage. Hezbollah fired over 1,200 rockets into northern Israel. Hamas launched more than 600 rockets from Gaza. Syrian militias shelled Israel's Golan Heights. Iran-backed groups in Iraq fired missiles at U.S. military bases in the region. Iran threatened to block the Strait of Hormuz, through which 30% of global oil passes. Oil prices surged from $80 to over $160 per barrel within 48 hours. Global gasoline prices doubled, affecting everything from food transport to airline tickets. Stock markets in New York, London, Tokyo, and Frankfurt dropped by 15 to 25% in just a few days. Investors fled risky markets. Supply chain disruptions intensified worldwide. The United States Navy deployed aircraft carriers to the Gulf. Russia reinforced its military presence near Syria and the Black Sea. China, while publicly calling for peace, positioned its warships near the Indian Ocean, preparing for possible global disruption. Iranian hackers attacked financial institutions in Europe, Israel, and Gulf states, temporarily shutting down stock exchanges and payment gateways. Israel retaliated by cutting power grids in Tehran, Mashhad, and Isfahan, sending parts of Iran into blackout for hours. Air raid sirens in Israel went off every few hours. Bomb shelters were filled to capacity. Iranian citizens faced rolling blackouts, gasoline shortages, and internet outages. International airlines suspended flights over Israel, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and Lebanon. If escalation continues, Israel could launch ground operations into Lebanon, Syria, and potentially Gaza. Iran could respond by firing ballistic missiles at Gulf nations like the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, or even U.S. military bases in Iraq and Qatar. The entire Middle East would be engulfed in a massive, prolonged conflict affecting millions. Alternatively, both sides might avoid direct war but continue fighting through proxies like Hezbollah, Hamas, and various militias. Israel would increase drone strikes and cyber attacks but stop short of directly invading Iran. This would result in a low-intensity but constant conflict that could simmer for months or even years. There is also the possibility of a diplomatic solution. Qatar, Turkey, and Oman could step in to mediate. A ceasefire might be brokered, with Iran agreeing to pause uranium enrichment and Israel halting its airstrikes. Sanctions could be partially lifted on Iran in exchange for transparency. Peace would hold temporarily, but both sides would remain highly suspicious, and tensions could reignite at any time. You might be thinking, this is thousands of miles away. How does this affect me? Let me explain. If the Strait of Hormuz closes, your country's fuel prices could double or even triple. Air travel would become more expensive. Shipping delays would affect online orders, groceries, and electronics. A global market crash could lead to recession, job cuts, inflation, and economic instability, not just in the Middle East but worldwide. Cyber attacks are not limited to governments. Banks, hospitals, and internet services in Europe, Asia, India, and the United States could face disruptions. So, what do you think? Are we looking at a small, controlled conflict? Or is this the beginning of a bigger disaster, maybe even a world war? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read and replied to everyone. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to Yes No Way Haha, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss updates on world events. Explained simply. This is Yes No Way Haha, signing off. Stay smart, stay aware, and stay prepared.